Hello everyone, I saw the show Doom Patrol on DC Universe app, and I must say this show came as a pleasant surprise to me, and it's probably one of the best comic book shows. Like seriously, it's up there with Punisher Season 1 and Daredevil on Netflix. It is that good. Doom Patrol is based on the DC comic. They first appeared in My Greatest Adventure, June of 1963, and I actually thought there was a lot of similarities with this and X-Men. I mean, you have a professor who's in a wheelchair with special gifted people in a mansion. Doesn't that sound familiar? Well, Doom Patrol came out a couple of months before, June of 1963. It was created by Arnold Drake, Bob Haney, and Bruno Premiani. You've had other creators like Rachel Pollack and Grant Morrison take their own spin at the Doom Patrol. This series is created by Jeremy Carver. Stars Timothy Dalton as Chief, Diane Guerrero as Crazy Jane, April Bowlby as Elasti-Woman, Matt Bomer as Negative Man, Brendan Fraser as Robot Man aka Cliff Steele, Jovian Wade as Cyborg, and Alan Tudyk as Mr. Nobody. This series has a great cast and it's shot very well. It's a high quality show. I never felt like I was watching a television program. I felt like I was watching a movie. And much like a comic, it has certain narration by Mr. Nobody, Alan Tudyk, and certain moments that break the fourth wall that make it feel very much like a comic book. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, but pretty much the gist of it is that there's these different people who've had tragic events happen in their life. They have these abilities. There's different things that make them unique. And they all reside at this mansion where the chief is. Timothy Dalton found these people and basically tried to fix their lives. They're kind of isolated from the real world. So each of them has their own struggles, own flaws, own problems to deal with. And that makes them very relatable characters. The first episode is such a fantastic pilot. I was never bored. It had a lot of moments that show you the development of the villain as well as the heroes. Brendan Fraser. I didn't know how much I missed Brendan Fraser until Doom Patrol. Like really, I miss him in roles. He does a fantastic job as Cliff Steele. He's a race car driver and he's pretty much a womanizer and a drunk at that. And just when he tries to get his life together, a tragic accident happens that kills his wife and daughter. And Timothy Dalton finds him and he becomes a Robot Man. He has such a sad arc. It reminds me a lot of Paul Verhoeven's RoboCop with the way they deal with his character. I love Brendan Fraser. He's by far my favorite character. But you also have Matt Bomer as Negative Man, and he basically had this accident that left him disfigured, so he's wrapped up like a mummy. And there's also like this living, like electric entity living inside him. April Bowlby is Elasti-Woman based on Elastigirl, and pretty much she had this accident. She was an actress in the 40s, has this accident, and she's pretty much like Elastigirl, or kind of like a blob. But Diane Guerrero does such a fantastic job as Crazy Jane. Imagine Split if it had superpower like beings, like each one. I mean, Jane is just batshit crazy. Her range is just so amazing watching on the show. She goes through so many characters that are just very vulgar, just very shocking, very funny. And that's the thing, this show knows how to have fun. There are dark, serious moments, but sometimes there's so many outlandish moments. Really, really outlandish moments that just brighten up the mood and just make it a funny comedy. So it feels very much like a comic book show. And what I love about this is it's so different from Teen Titans, you know. DC Universe is really setting up different genres. You know, Swamp Thing's not going to be like Doom Patrol, and this ain't going to be like Titans. So it's really something unique that I haven't seen in other programs. But I'm not that much of a fan of Doom Patrol. I've never been familiar with Doom Patrol in the comics. I feel like reading a Doom Patrol comic. That's how good this show is. Somebody outside of comics can watch this show and still relate to the characters, still follow the story. And pretty much it involves them going after this man named Mr. Nobody who kidnaps the chief, Timothy Dalton, and the whole season revolves around them getting him back and also dealing with the outside world that they've been isolated from for so long. And without going into spoilers, that's pretty much the gist of it, but you do have other kind of like filler episodes that go into like different genres, such as like demonic entities, kind of funny other metahuman entities, secret organizations. And you have so many crazy moments like a teleporting street, somebody being shot out of a donkey's ass, and then a giant rat and cockroach fighting each other. So many outlandish moments that make you just laugh. So many shocking moments, moments of action. This has everything. So if I had to give Doom Patrol Season 1 a score, I would give it a 5 out of 5 and an A+. I love this show. This show was a breath of fresh air, something completely original, unique. A certain comic book property that hasn't really been explored very much, you know? You have other similar things like the X-Men that have kind of taken the forefront, and this is kind of like a forgotten about property that's had some reincarnations throughout the decades. This has very much the vibe of X-Men with a little bit of Watchmen and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen into the DC universe. And I must say, I also like Jovian Wade as Cyborg. I liked Ray Fisher's Cyborg. I liked the other Cyborg incarnations. I wasn't sure what to think about this Cyborg, but when I saw the show, he really surprised me, and he's among one of the best versions of Cyborg I have seen in live action. Like, really, Phil Morris is his dad, Cyrus Stone. Yes, that's right, the Martian Manhunter from Smallville. Such a great cast. You get to learn more about the Chief with Timothy Dalton. You get to learn about every character, their motivations, and where they're coming from, as well as their struggles. And I just love that. That is just good storytelling. That is great character development. Plus, it's shot well with a great amount of quality that looks like a feature film. It's pretty much like a 15-hour movie, and it was a great binge. So 5 out of 5 and an A+. If you haven't seen Doom Patrol, consider maybe getting a trial or paying. It's only $7.99 a month for the DC Universe app. There's also comics, encyclopedias, and other classic DC movies and TV series. Definitely check out Doom Patrol. You will not regret it. And if you have seen Doom Patrol, feel free to let me know your thoughts on the show down in the comments below. What are your favorite characters? Mine's Robot Man. And I liked the penultimate episode. That was cool. And then the Doom Patrol was a good episode. Just let me know down in the comments below. You can also follow me at Fred Film Fanatic on the Stardust app, where I have Doom Patrol reactions. And check out these videos on my channel. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.